the desire to form a United States of Europe, he contacted Napoleon to form that unity. But the power transferred to Napoleon, Napoleon misused. He went power mad, and instead he met his Waterloo.
Dr. Peter Ryle, professor of European history at UCLA, holds a different viewpoint.
I think Saint-Germain was a typical adventurer of the 18th century. He was a man similar to Casanova, similar to Cagliostro, similar to a whole slew of men who populated the last half of the 18th century, plying the trade of mystical religion, pseudoscience, in an attempt to milk as much money as they could from the rich, the wealthy, and the gullible.
Dr. Manuel Oderberg of the Theosophical Society.
I feel personally that Saint-Germain was one of a number of highly trained people who seemed to come before mankind or in different countries from time to time to restate certain ethical principles. He had universal ideas about humanity per se rather than any one particular country. And secondly, that he himself in his own personal life was pitched to what I might call unselfishness.
People like Saint-Germain and Cagliostro could come in and partly use the scientific ideas that were floating about and partly accept them, because they were not totally phonies. I'm not trying to say that. What they really were people who read a little of this and a little of that, took the latest scientific statements, and also made a great deal of money out of it, or at least as much money as they could.
At that time, then, he turned his attention to the United States, where he had already been working behind the scenes with George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Benjamin Franklin, in actually preparing the Constitution of the United States and inspiring that declaration, as well as the revolution, the freedom of those independent colonies. Just at the moment of indecision, at precisely 5 o'clock, July 4th, 1776, Saint-Germain appeared on the balcony. The doors remained locked, but he appeared. He gave an impassioned speech to the delegates, and he told them to sign that document. And the energy that he released was so intense that immediately they coalesced, and they all signed the document, beginning with John Hancock.
As to the length of Saint-Germain's life, once again, the experts disagree.
Saint-Germain's supposed longevity is again a traditional ploy used by people who claim to be magicians or alchemists to prove that they have discovered the magic elixir of life. The fact of not eating in public, I think, is a very, very, very intelligent ploy of showing that somehow you ingest different types of foods as normal human beings do.
There was a rumor that he had died in 1784, but there are memoirs by the Countess de Saint-Germain, the French lady-in-waiting to Marie Antoinette, indicating that he was seen after 1784, and in fact for some years afterwards. So what I really meant was that it wasn't a fact that he had died in 1784.
Saint-Germain, Saint-Germain, Saint-Germain. All hail the Knight Commander, all hail Saint-Germain. Saint-Germain, Saint-Germain.
During Saturday evening church services in Pasadena, Elizabeth Clare Prophet claims that Saint-Germain speaks to his followers through her.
All hail Saint Germain.
I am the keeper of the flame of freedom for every nation. Saint Germain, you have called me, and Uncle Sam. I am he, and I am here. I am in the flame of the holy science and of that religion which is yours to claim. Yes, I come, a believer and a teacher of the law of reincarnation. The law of the coming again and again of the soul is your cosmic justice. It is that cause of freedom whereby you understand that the goal and the calling of America and every true free nation is to lead mankind into that way of higher consciousness. This is my mantra, which I give to you. I am a being of violet fire. I am the purity God desired. Hail Saint Germain! 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 Hail Saint.
Evidence recently discovered in the library of the British Museum indicates that Saint Germain might well have been the lost third son of Prince Rákóczi, born in Transylvania in 1694. If he died in Germany in 1784, he lived 90 years. The average life expectancy in the 18th century was 35 years. 50 was a ripe old age. 90 was forever. We can account for those 90 years with a reasonable amount of confidence. Saint Germain's lives before and after that, however, are a matter of faith.
Coming up next, In Search of continues with a look at cryogenics and other ways of prolonging human life. Then 20th Century with Mike Wallace reports on the tragedy of Columbine High School and other